Welcome back to the Poker Vlog, guys. This is episode number 26. For this one, we're back at the Aria playing 2-5. Check out the time, putting in a morning shift today. Just dropped off the kiddo at school. Have about 4 hours to play so we can get a video out by Sunday. Let's get to the hands. A brand new 2-5 game just opens. We're 7-handed. First playable hand we get is in the cutoff with ace-queen. Action folds to me, and I raise to 15. Folds to the small blind, who puts in a 3-bet to 75. He's a capable looking player. I know he's waiting for the 5-5 PLO. We each started the hand with 1,000. Calling 60 more sounds terrible, as does folding, so we put in a 4-bet to 265, see how strong he really is. He goes into the tank for a bit. If he jams, we probably have to fold, but he ends up making the laydown. Next we have Jack-9 suited from under the gun +1. I raise to 15. Folds around to the big blind, who makes the call. He has a 1,000 starting stack. We go heads up to a flop, Queen, Queen 10 with 1 heart. Pretty good flop with an open ender and backdoor flush draw. He checks. I bet 15. He makes the call. Turn is a blank, 3 of spades. He checks it over to us again. I think I can continue betting here or take a free one. I check this one back, and river brings another brick, 5 of clubs. All the draws miss. He checks it to us for a 3rd time. Jack high doesn't win very often here, so I might take the same line with a 10 or a bigger pocket pair, check the turn and bet river for value, so I make a bet of 50, and he snap calls with pocket 8s, which are good. Nice hand, sir. I think I needed to fire on the turn to get him off that one. 15 minutes later, we have the 10-8 suited in the hijack. Action folds to me, and I raise to 15. Cutoff calls, and the button puts in a 3-bet to 75. Probably not recommended to call out a position here very often, but you guys know me. I like to play post-flop. We each have 1,000 to start the hand, so I make the call. The cutoff folds, and we go heads up to a flop, 10-5-5 with 2 clubs. We hit top pair and a backdoor flush draw. I check to the aggressor, and he bets 80. We expected a continuation bet with his entire range here, so we're not going anywhere just yet with what may be the best hand at the moment. I make the call, and we see a deuce of hearts on the turn. We pick up a flush draw to go with it. I check it to him, and after some deliberation, he eventually decides on a bet of 225. He has 670 remaining. Now we have a decision. I don't think folding is an option, so I think we can jam or just call here. I think calling is slightly better because we have a pretty strong hand. We might have the best hand at the moment. We could be up against a hand like ace-queen, ace-jack, ace-king of clubs, and we can look to dodge a club or an overcard. Or we can jam right now, potentially get him to fold a better hand, and if he calls with an overpair, so be it, we have some outs. I think I can credibly have pocket 10s here, maybe ace-5, 5-6 suited from this position. So I'd at least expect him to think about it if I do put in a jam here, if he has an overpair. So that's what I decide to do. I say all in, and he pretty quickly calls, which is bad news. We know he has an overpair now. We go to a river card, looking for a heart or a 10 dealer. No help, it's a brick, ace of spades. He shows 2 jacks for the best hand, and we lose a big one there. You guys can go ahead and wreck me in the comments for this one. It's not the worst shove of my life, but I think a call, like I said, is slightly better. Actually way better, just calling on the turn because I had plenty of equity in the hand, getting a good price to just call 225. And to be honest, I didn't think this guy was going to fold an overpair, so it was kind of a punt. I mean, I had some outs, but I think I need some fold equity to jam that turn there, and I really didn't have it, so now we have some work to do. Next we have ace-10 in the big blind. Game is 4-handed at the moment. Cutoff raises to 15, has about 800. Action folds to me. I put in a 3-bet to 60. He makes the call, and we go heads up to a flop of ace-jack-jack with 2 diamonds. I lead for 60 for value, and he makes the call. Turn brings a blank, deuce of spades. I'm not really worried about a better ace, as he likely would have 4-bet me pre-flop. I continue betting for value against worse aces, and to charge flush and straight draws, I make it 115, and he makes the call. River is a 5 of spades, total blank. I'm convinced he most likely missed a flush draw, so I don't think this opponent is paying me off with a hand worse. I think the best play is to check and keep his bluffs in, so we check. He goes into the tank for about 30 seconds. He's starting to gather a $300 bet. I'm ready to snap call it, but he eventually pumps the brakes, checks back. I show my hand, and he mucks. He nearly pulled the trigger there, though. Next we have ace-9 offsuit in the cutoff. 5-handed game now. Under the gun player limps. I raise to 20. Limper calls with about 300 behind. We go heads up to a flop of 9-8-3 with 2 hearts. We have top pair, top kicker, and he checks it to us. I bet 20 for value. He quickly calls. Turn is a 6 of spades. He checks again. I bet 50 and he snap calls again. Doesn't feel like he's on a draw. Feels like I have him notched with a pair with how quickly he's calling. We're looking for a blink on the river and we get it with a 4 of diamonds. He checks to us for a third time. I have no reason not to believe we don't have the best hand, so I bet 120 for value. And he doesn't snap this time, but eventually does call. We show the ace 9 and it's good as he flashes jack 8 of diamonds. I'll be honest with you guys, this is a spot that I used to check back on the river really for no good reason. I guess I used to think I just wouldn't get called by worse, but that's not the case, and these are spots that are really good to look for value. Next we have King 10 offsuit in the big blind. Middle position player raises to 15. Small blind and button make the call. We're getting a great price. I call the 10 more, and we go 4 ways to a flop. King Jack 4 with 2 hearts. We have top pair with a marginal kicker and a multi-way pot. Small blind checks. I check. Original raiser bets 25. Button calls. Small blind calls. Action's on us. Not sure if we have the best hand, but I think any sets or 2 pairs would put in a raise on such a wet flop, so let's see a turn. I make the call, and we bank 2 pair on the turn with the 10 of clubs. Still kind of a dangerous card. Small blind checks. I check for pot control, as any player can credibly have ace queen or queen 9 for a straight, so original raiser slows down now and checks. Button checks, which is great news. River is a complete blank, 6 of clubs. Highly unlikely any straight was checked on the turn, so when the small blind checks, I bet 75 for value, hoping someone gets sticky with a jack. Original raiser folds. Button thinks for a bit and eventually puts in a call. Small blind folds. We show the 2 pair and it's good. We're climbing back out of this hole. Next we have pocket kings in the big blind. Under the gun player limps. Small blind calls. I raise to 30. Limper calls and the small blind folds. We go heads up to a pretty nice flop. Ace jack 5, all hearts. Could have done without that ace though. We have kings with the nut flush draw. I bet 30 and my opponent makes the call. Turn brings an ace of clubs, making it less likely my opponent has one, so I feel like he might have like 10 jack, queen jack with a heart, so I continue betting for value. I make it 50. Oh no, opponent starts gathering raising chips and makes it 130 to see a river card. We're getting the correct price to continue here for only 80 more, so getting nearly 4 to 1. I make the call, and the nut flush comes in with the 9 of hearts on the river. Now we hope he has like ace X of hearts, and we'll get the rest in. We go all in for his remaining 180 or so, and he makes a nice laydown, shows the ace. Next we have ace 10 suited on the button. Cutoff player limps. I raise to 20. Small blind calls, and the cutoff calls. We go 3 ways to a flop. 9, 10 jack with 1 club. So we have middle pair on a connected board. Both players check to me. I think we can probably bet small or check here. With 2 opponents on this board, I decide to check. We're not that strong and could already be drawing near dead, so we take a free turn card and improve with an ace of spades, giving us 2 pair. Small blind leads right out for 30 now, and the next player calls. The small blind hasn't gotten out of line yet, playing pretty snug, so no sense in raising here. If he's betting for value, he has a straight, and we are already behind, so I just make the call, and we get a blank deuce of hearts on the river. He doesn't seem too worried about getting called by 2 opponents on the turn, and continues with another bet, 55 on the river. Next player folds. Price is too good to fold, so I make the call, and he shows ace king. So we got lucky with an ace to get some more action there. Couldn't really put him on ace king there, no 3-bet pre-flop. And nice bet on the river, because kind of handcuffed me. Couldn't really go for more value, but I think if I do, he just folds. So moving on. Next we have pocket 9s in the hijack. I raise to 15. Folds to the small blind, who puts in a 3-bet to 60. He's a new player, just sat with 1,000. The big blind cold calls the 60. I've noticed when players are cold calling these 3-bets in these games, it's usually a medium to high pocket pair or just ace king, and they don't feel comfortable 4-betting. I feel like we need to hit a set here. We're in position and make the call for 45 more. We go 3 ways to a flop. 10-10 deuce with 2 hearts. Original raiser leads for 1/3 pot, bets 60. Big blind makes the call. For 60, I have to peel 1 more. We're getting 5 to 1 on our money. We can potentially turn our hand into a bluff as well, but you guys saw how that worked out earlier. Turn brings a deuce. Small blind slows down and checks, but now the big blind leads for 120. Action's on us, and we just know he has pocket jacks or queens. We know there's no chance in the world he's holding a 10 or a deuce. I'm the only one in this hand who can credibly have a 10 or a deuce. The problem is that my bluff has to make sense. If I had a hand like 9-10 suited, 10 jack suited, I would have 100% raised that flop, probably pocket deuces as well. Another factor I'm considering is that the big blind only has about 600 left after his bet of 120. He's put 240 in the middle already. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get him off an overpair here. Although I know exactly where I'm at in the hand, I just don't think he's going to buy it given my line. So I annoyingly lay this one down. Small blind folds as well. I think a more believable story would have been to raise that flop and set up a jam on the turn. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Out of time today. In for 2,000, out for 1638. Not bad considering we were down 1,200 at our lowest point, so made a nice little comeback. We'll catch you at the end of the video. Alright guys, that's it for episode number 26. Hope you enjoyed the content today. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe for more poker videos every Sunday. As always, here are the stats after every session. Post the No Limit Hold'em stats. In the red today, minus what? We lost 360. Not too bad considering that somewhat of a punt. What do you guys think about that hand? I don't know. I don't like the shove there. But other than that, I think I played pretty good the rest of the day. I really wanted to jam that last one with the pocket nines. Not jam, but set up a play to jam the river. But I didn't feel like it was going to get through. You know, your bluff has to make sense. I don't think it would have made sense. And I think he might have snapped me off again there with an overpair. But, oh well. As always, thanks for watching. Till the end. Stay to the end for a trick shot. And we'll catch you guys on the next video.